broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world. You are watching NowMedia Television.
Welcome back to Biz Talk. I am Jill C. Sanchez, your host for today. And on this segment, we have Your Tech, Your Biz with Roland Parker. And he is in the studio with us today. So how are you today, Roland?
Hey, Jill C. It's great to be back and enjoying this beautiful Houston fall weather that we're having at the moment.
Absolutely. We are getting close to the cooler weather and we're loving that. So today's segment, we're going to be talking about cybersecurity for small businesses. You think you don't need it because you're a small business? Well, think again. So I'll get right to the point. Should I train employees in security principles, Roland?
You know, time and time again, they've actually proven that the number one way that companies get hacked, both small and the big companies, is through their employees. So employee training is so critical, and we've got some programs that we have that will not only do the employee training, but also the phishing simulation, which means that we'll be able to tell you which employees are clicking on the links that they shouldn't be clicking on, and if they'd clicked on a legitimate hacking link, you could have been compromised. So it's so essential having that employee training put in place before something disastrous happens.
Absolutely, I agree. But how do you protect information, computer, and networks from cyber attacks?
You know, it's not a one solution fits all. You've got to have a multi-layered approach, from your firewall to zero trust, which means you're blocking everything else apart from the known good programs from running, followed by the next gen antivirus. Instead of a normal antivirus that tries to prevent things, but if it gets past it, there's no remediation. The next gen antivirus comes with endpoint detection and remediation. What does it mean? If something gets past all those defenses, you've got a physical human looking at what's happening, remediating, and stopping it from spreading before it gets too further. If you don't have that type of protection in place at the moment, you are going to be vulnerable.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared now. So is a firewall security for your internet connection necessary?
Absolutely. So your general modem / router that you get from your internet service provider has some firewall capabilities, but you're never going to get the subscription level detection that you are with a proper firewall like a Sonicwall or a Barracuda or something like that, that actually prevents a lot of these attacks from coming in, but alerts you if somebody's trying to hack in, which you're not really going to get from your general Comcast type modem.
Okay. And how about like cellular devices? How do I create a mobile device action plan?
Well, this is one of the big weaknesses, and it's caused a lot of talking points amongst people in the IT industry. Employees have got mobile devices that they're now accessing emails and other things on your network, and it creates vulnerabilities. So you've got to make sure that, first of all, if an employee is going to access company data, it should only be on a locked down company-issued device. It's so easy to say, use your own laptop, use your own cellular device, and you can get your emails and that type of thing. But it's a mistake, because what happens is if they get compromised, you could be making your whole environment vulnerable. So you really want to make sure if an employee has to access data, if they have to access emails, it should be on a lockdown device with security, encryption, and passwords on it.
Okay. Now, how about the information? We are exposed and maybe they already clicked on something. So how do we back up the copies of important business data and information?
Well, your backups is one thing that a lot of people think, well, they've got either some sort of plan in place or part of a plan. Part of the problem with ransomware is that it spreads to things like external devices or Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive. So your data may be in different places, but if the ransomware can spread, then it's going to get into every single device. So you've got to have a multi-layered backup approach. We really like Acronis because we can actually go back day after day, week after week, month after month, up to 18 months, and have all of that backup. It's protected against ransomware, and if part of it gets infected or corrupted, we can go back to the previous day and restore that completely. Your general backup overwrites everything, and if that gets compromised, everything's gone.
Yeah, I know that from experience. My computer drank coffee and I lost a lot. I didn't have that, so you should get it. Do you recommend to create user accounts for each employee?
Absolutely. Each employee has got to have their own account, and it's got to be password protected and encrypted.
Okay. And now, how do I secure my Wi-Fi networks? I don't know how can I do that?
So there are some things that you can look up on how to make it more secure. You don't want to come with out-of-the-box wireless. You've got to put on your protection, and it's got to have a high level of protection that somebody going past can't easily access it. So you've got to lock it down, and you've got to have it securely password protected to prevent somebody sitting outside your house or outside your business and accessing your data.
Yeah. So how about passwords and authentication? This is another word I can't say.
So these days, multi-factor authentication is something that you've got to have across the board. We even had an insurance agent contact us yesterday. He knows about this stuff, but him and his wife both got compromised because they didn't have multi-level authentication on their bank accounts, and their bank accounts were compromised across the board. So that means when you're logging into any financial service or any email service or accessing your data on the network, it's got to have that multi-level authentication where it sends the authentication to your phone as a code, or you've got an authenticator app on your phone that you then allow that to come in. And you should have that even if you're logged into that computer. And the reason why is that if the hackers get into your system, they then got access to your bank accounts. If you don't have that multi-level authentication in place, that's going to alert you when somebody's trying to access your bank.
Okay. I am so scared now. So Roland, how can we get all these things, like for people like me that don't know how to start? Can you tell us where we can find you and how you can help us better?
The best thing to do is sit down with us, give us a call, 281-647-9977, or reach us on the web at impresscomputers.tech. That's IMPRESS computers.tech, and you can click on one of the forms to schedule a meeting with us, or you can come into our store in Katy and we'll just go through everything with you to make sure that you're secure and your business environment is safe from the bad guys.
Absolutely. So if Roland scared you enough, go see him and put all those things in place like I will. So thank you so much, Roland, for coming over and letting us know all this important information.